Hi, I'm Bob Rubart with the Oracle Technology Network, and today I'm talking with Gwen Shapira. Gwen's a solution architect with Cloudera, an Oracle ACE Director specializing in database management and performance, and she's also the person behind the big data track at Collaborate 14, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks at it's the Venetian and Sands Expo Center in Vegas. So Vegas, baby. How you doing, Gwen?
Doing well. Looking forward to being in Vegas.
Yeah, who wouldn't? So let's talk about that. Tell me about your involvement in the big data track at Collaborate, and talk about what's going to be happening there.
So basically, we have in the call for paper, one of the tracks that we sourced papers for was big data. And we looked for a very diverse track. We wanted to have NoSQL topics. We wanted Hadoop topics. We wanted kind of blue sky strategy talks, roadmap from Oracle. We also wanted very practical sessions. We wanted things for people who are just getting started with big data, and we wanted things for people who are already doing things and looking for the next step. We have some data science content, machine learning. We hope it will be exciting, that something in the track will appeal to almost everyone in the conference.
How many sessions are in that track?
I think we have 4 half days, so we're looking at around 16 sessions.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many are you doing?
I only submitted one, but I ended up doing 2 of them after one of my speakers was looking for a replacement.
Oh, okay. So, and what will you be talking about in those sessions?
So one session is about doing ETL on Hadoop. This is kind of a more advanced session, someone who already knows what Hadoop is and is looking for practical hands-on advice on how to use it to improve their data warehouse. And the other session is about Cloudera's product Impala, which allows doing real-time SQL on Hadoop, these are kind of complementary. Doing ETL is like large batch processing. Impala is more real-time analytics, exploring the data, something that we see used a lot by BI people. You have Oracle BI can connect to Hadoop and use it to run queries, and you display it on dashboards. So it's kind of 2 ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. In preparing for this, how big data is basically, on the one hand, it's where do you put the stuff, and then the other hand, it's what do you do with the stuff. So you get the
and it used to be just where do you put it until about a year ago, and then people started saying, okay, now we have all this data. Now what do we do?
Yeah, and it's only going to get bigger.
It's getting bigger very fast. You see a lot of, it's mostly driven by device data. You see a lot of devices are reporting home now. Like your watch is now sending data to the people who manufactured it, for example. Mobile phones, cars are sending data back. We're kind of being tracked,
Yeah.
It's scary at times.
Yeah, I just responded to a tweet from one of the people in the community who mentioned that he'd had a red snapper dinner somewhere in Texas, and when it was able to track where the fish came from on his cell phone, and I tweeted back that even fish have no privacy these days.
Absolutely, yes.
So let's talk about your skill set for a minute. You've been doing this for a while. You've worked for a couple of pretty large companies. What skill have you acquired in that time that is the most valuable to you now as you're getting deeper and deeper into big data?
That's a good question, actually. I've never been asked that before. I've been doing Oracle data warehouses for a long, long time. I started maybe in year, say, 2005 with HP. And it surprised me when I started learning about Hadoop that a lot of what you know about data warehouses, it's exactly the same in Hadoop. I mean, you have a system that is very good at doing very fast full table scans, in many ways just like Exadata. And it allows you to do more flexible processing on top of it, but a lot of the basics still apply in terms that if you're doing full table scans, you want to have partitioning in place. You care about the disk throughput and the network throughput and how it works with the CPU, how fast can you really read data in megabytes per second. How do you minimize the amount of operations you do to achieve what you need? How do you maximize parallelism by splitting the data? In Hadoop case, it's among multiple machines, but even in Oracle, if you want to have parallel operations, you want to partition the data correctly. So a lot, really, I was surprised to discover how much of what I learned in doing Oracle data warehouses is still the skill set that I'm teaching my Hadoop customers now.
Interesting. So the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Absolutely. And that's kind of why I'm telling DBAs and Oracle developers that look at Hadoop. I mean, you're still relevant, and it's this a new amazing opportunity to build on your skill set into something that's kind of hot and trendy.
and probably will cease to be hot and trendy, but will make that leap from hot and trendy to foundational.
We hope so. Yeah. I think we're seeing it happening. I mean, a lot of our customers start by the CEO read about Hadoop in a trade magazine, like CEO magazine, and they just want to do something Hadoopy so they won't get left behind by the competition. And it takes more or less a year before you have something that's actual, and not just for exploring and proof of concept, but really something that you depend on to deliver production value. And now I start seeing customers who are at this stage where they have production systems that really depend on Hadoop and wouldn't be the same without it.
I love the fact that you just used the word Hadoopy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Hadooper, we are doing Hadooping, things are Hadoopish. It's very flexible.
Oh, wow. Well, Gwen, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me this morning. Good luck at Collaborate. I know I'll be following your Twitter stream from there to see what's happening on your end of things.
I'm definitely planning on tweeting, yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll do that. And my guest has been Gwen Shapira. She's heading up the big data track at Collaborate 2014, coming up in Vegas, and it's April 7th through the 11th at the Venetian Sands Expo Center in Vegas. Gwen, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Looking forward to see everyone.